Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Benavidez, Andrade, Canelo, Bivol, and Charlo, Castaño. Look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And the first question comes from my brother Raul, and he states, will we ever see David Benavidez versus Demetrius Boo Andrade? And in my opinion, yes, we will see that fight. David Benavidez has already stated, according to FightHype.com, that him and his team and his father have reached out to Demetrius Andrade and his father. They're already in negotiations, and they're planning a potential fight on Showtime should Demetrius Andrade be successful in his next fight against Zach Parker, and should they be successful in their next fight against David Lemieux. So we may get that fight a lot sooner than we expect. It makes all the sense in the world, and I'm ready to see these guys get it on. But let's keep it going. The next one comes from my brother Steel Mills Boxing, and he states, who do you have being crowned undisputed at 54 on Saturday, Charlo or Castaño? In my opinion, this is a 50-50 fight. And this is what I mean. We've seen Brian Castaño outbox and arguably beat Jermell Charlo in their last fight. He was obviously robbed of the decision. He should be undisputed right now, and I believe he has the potential to outbox and beat him again. This time he can actually get the decision he deserves. Now on the other end, I can also see Jermell Charlo making strategic adjustments and coming back and potentially stopping Castaño in the rematch. That's why I think this fight is extremely intriguing. It's a 50-50 fight and can literally go either way. But let's keep it going. The next question comes from my brother Alex Chavez, and he states, what makes the most sense for Canelo going forward? In my opinion, what makes the most sense for Canelo going forward has to be the rematch with Demetrius Bivol. He has to do this for his legacy, for his confidence, and I think it makes the most sense because he believes he can beat him. But let's keep it going. The next one comes from my brother Johnny C, and he states, what do you think Canelo needs to do in order to be able to defeat Demetrius Bivol? In my opinion, it's three things. The first is Canelo Alvarez has to fix his stamina. Canelo Alvarez was arguably winning the fight early until his stamina gave out. Canelo Alvarez has to look at what he's doing, adapt to the weight, and make any changes in camp, even if it's dietary changes, to make sure his stamina is appropriate for this fight. He also needs to box, set up his shots instead of going in, literally trying to land power shot after power shot after power shot. And the third thing Canelo Alvarez needs to do is do not sit in front of Demetrius Bivol. His jab is finding you too easy. His combination punching is always right there for you. You need to move your feet. Box, hit, move. But that's it. Let's keep it going. And the next one comes from my brother Amu, and he states, what are your thoughts on ESPN somehow making Terrence Crawford pound for pound #1 right now? And here it is. I think Terrence Crawford's an excellent fighter. I think he's an elite fighter. And I think he's definitely a top pound-for-pound fighter. But pound-for-pound #1 makes no sense to me. And I think it's an obvious bias for an American fighter such as Terrence Crawford. That's my opinion. I think if we're being honest and unbiased, Oslander Usyk should be pound-for-pound #1. Terrence Crawford's last world champion that he fought was Jeff Horn, and he was not elite. While Usyk, last champion that he fought, was Anthony Joshua. He was elite and a unified champion. Why are they not keeping that same energy? But let's keep it going. The next one comes from the Joker, and he states, do you see Shakur and Tank going at it at 35? And what's the outcome? Same question with Shakur and Haney. Now, in my opinion, Tank Davis has never taken a risk in his career, so I'm not sure he would take that type of risk. On the other hand, you see Devin Haney. He's been willing to take a lot of different types of risks, and I'm believing that he would take the Shakur Stevenson risk at some point. In my opinion, the result is the same. I think Shakur Stevenson cooks both of them. I believe Shakur Stevenson is a generational talent.